can stand like right over there.
Video one.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of piggyback, off of some of what he talked about with this racetrack, and we've kind of been looking at how it's really affecting these drivers, how the cars have been handling. We saw a few incidents throughout both practices. Yeah. When it came to your first impressions of the track, really, what thoughts have you had when it came to this course?
Well, I mean, it was sort of what I expected it to be. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be able to spend some time in the simulator, so I kind of saw where the track went. I was really curious to see how they were going to manage infrastructure, how they were going to manage runoffs and tire barriers and the walls and sight lines and all the visual stuff, and I think they've done a great job of it, but I mean, it's really hard. It's a really challenging course, as I think everybody has seen. I mean, it's hard on these cars to drive on really tight corners that are off camber and elevation and all that. It's difficult, but I mean, I got out of the car after the first time and thought it was I had a big smile on my face because I was just excited that the sport was doing something like this because it's so unique.
Are you glad that they're doing it at this time? I mean, obviously you're right here at the end, but you get to do it right at the end.
Yeah, me personally? Yeah, I am. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is going to be a really historic and iconic weekend, and it's a great way for me to end my career just being kind of a road racer and loving NASCAR. So, I mean, I think that people are going to be talking about this race for a long time, and to be able to participate in both of them this weekend is going to be great. Awesome.
You made one of the big decisions that race car drivers have to make. I mean, you kind of mentioned some of the reasons why, but when did it really hit you that this was kind of a good time for you?
This summer, really, probably like this summer. I started thinking about it and started talking to my wife about it, and I had some tough moments leaving my kids, and it's just kind of. I don't want to say it was something that was very methodical and thought out and really talked about. It just going with the gut instinct, and I really truly feel like it's the right decision. I'm like I said before, I'm really fortunate to be able to walk away on my own terms and not against my will.
Yeah, Elliott Sadler made his decision based on family. I mean, is it more of a health thing, or is it really just that family time that you really strive for?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to begin to compare myself to Elliott Sadler. I mean, he's had an amazing career, and for me, the last 6 years of my career, I've not supported my family with it. It's not what dad does to put food on the table or anything like that. So when the kids start to grow a little older and start to get really bummed out about dad leaving to go to the racetrack for 4 days or 3 days or whatever it is, it's hard to look them in the eye and tell them I'm doing this because for the family, or I'm doing, whatever. And that played a pretty big role in it. And I'll still race. I mean, I'll go race locally and kind of just race, kind of like where I started when I was 20 years old for fun. But I'm done getting on planes on Wednesdays and back on Sundays.
Yeah. So you weren't getting paid in NASCAR? You said it wasn't supporting.
Well, no. I mean, I wasn't supporting my family because I really worked hard to build my businesses and have that be kind of, what I was doing as a career. And so when I wasn't in the race car, when I haven't been in the race car, we opened the Motorplex in 2012. The import and distribution company and the promotions company that we have started a couple years before that, and I mean, I've spent the last 6 years building those businesses, and I always considered that as really being my career. And so it gave me the opportunity to race the races that I wanted to and not feel like I needed to be out here full time and sort of forging this career as a race car driver. I've been sort of in the middle. And, if I step away from racing, my life at home doesn't change because we've built these amazing businesses here in North Carolina, and they're continuing to grow and going to continue to grow. So, it was just part of the decision.
Were you surprised you made it this long? Were you able to balance so much in your life?
Yeah, I am, honestly. I mean, when we started on these businesses, I figured I had 18 months left of driving, and they were going to be so much work that I wasn't going to be able to drive. But I mean, I felt like if I put the right people in place and the right structure in the businesses, and then empowered those people to do their jobs, that I could live in the middle, and I have successfully. But I've got ambitions in business and investing that lie way beyond what we've done at the Motorplex and beyond what we've done in go-kart racing, and to really give 100% effort to those. I can't be in a driving suit here anymore.
it is a big what if, but we look at how you performed in 2016 up until now. Road course is obviously your specialty, but do you think if success really came here in NASCAR with Chip Ganassi Racing at least, do you think that would have any effect on your decision if it was just different, if NASCAR really hit you differently as a driver?
That's a good question. I mean, it's really hard to say. I mean, I don't. It's hard to say. I mean, getting opportunities in this sport to go all the way to the top and to be one of the great stars of the sport, those opportunities are, I mean, it's 1/10 of 1%, and it's a lot of those fates are sealed long before those people are in their cup rides. And for me, I mean, I'm 37 years old, so for me, if I had a lot of success and I was winning races with Chip, 2 years ago when I was in the car on a bunch of the ovals, I still was 35. I mean, I still would have said, I don't, what am I chasing here? I mean, when the Cup rookies now are 20 years old, 21, 22 years old. So, I mean, I've always had a really good self-awareness. I mean, a big eye-opener for me is that, I won that race at Mid-Ohio in 2016 and had a chance to win the other road course too, and I didn't get any opportunities. I mean, the phone didn't ring for me after that to drive race cars, and that's sort of the economic model of the sport right now, is that these owners just aren't sitting on piles of cash to put whoever they want to in race cars, and so that was a moment where I said, I could rip off 10 wins in a row here, and it's not probably going to matter for me.
Yeah. And you're keeping the sports car side?
I mean, I'm a little undecided on that at the moment. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy driving in that, and I've got a great opportunity right now with Acura and the stuff that we're doing over there. But I don't know. I mean, the more I think about it, the more I think I'm closing in on that moment where my racing is going to be at my local short track, and maybe just some fun stuff from here and there, but stepping out of the professional seat.
Yeah. What was the reactions from the garage? I mean, even walking through this weekend, what's the reaction?
Way more than really, it's humbling. I mean, way more than I thought it would be, honestly. I put a tweet out there saying that it was going to be my last race, and that wasn't necessarily because I wanted to tell everybody. It was because I wanted some self-accountability. I wanted to put it out there and say, well, I can't just get sucked back in because I put it out there already. But yeah, a lot of people have come up to me, and it's really humbling, because I thought in my head that I didn't think anybody was going to care that Justin Marks wasn't going to be in a race car anymore. But it's awesome. It proves that I made that all the sacrifices and commitments I made in the sport for 20 years have all been worth it.
Yeah, a couple more questions. Catherine Legg kind of gave you a little bit of credit when it came to drivers who got her into the sport, because you spoke so well of it. Andy Lally, another one. What do you really have to say about from your NASCAR experience that you can tell perhaps other drivers? I mean, what are really the biggest things that you took from your time here?
Yeah, I mean, you can talk till you're blue in the face about how the cars drive and how differently they are than the types of cars that people come out of. But I think the biggest difference in this sport is the culture and the mentality. It's a very different sort of collective psychology among all these drivers, and the culture in the garage area. And I think that's where people that come from the different sides of the sport that come in here and they get so surprised, because just the way drivers interact with their teams, the way the drivers drive on the racetrack, the way the pit stops are, the way these teams run their businesses, it's just so different. It's such a different culture that's what I tell people the most. I mean, get ready for this, get ready for that. She's an incredibly talented race car driver, as is Lawson Ashenbach, my teammate, who's here as her teammate this weekend, and a lot of people that I've talked to. They're all really great race cars. They'll learn how to drive the car. They'll figure it out. But it's like getting used to the flow of the weekend, getting used to interactions with other drivers, getting used to things that are really unique on the racetrack in NASCAR, like pit stops and restarts, green, white checkers, all that stuff is. That's where there's the learning curve. Yeah, so I just try to help there.
Right. Yeah, two more questions here. Ending your career racing for Chip Ganassi in Xfinity, and you're racing a Cup race.
Yeah.
I mean, could you really ask for anything?
I was thinking the other day, this is a great way to finish it, because I'm a road racer, and I'm ending my NASCAR career. So I'm ending it on a NASCAR road course. I'm ending it in the Xfinity Series with the team that I won my race with, that I got my only win with, and have really treated me well and given me great opportunities the last few years. And I'm finishing it with the Cup team that I made my first Cup start with, and I've got my company on the race car, my local company I built here in Charlotte. So it's a perfect, and I didn't really plan it that way. It's just when I was thinking about it, it was like, yeah, this is it. This is the perfect way to end it. And I'm like, I'm not chasing the timesheet and getting mad if I miss corners and like if we qualify great. If we qualify poorly, great. I'm just here enjoying it. I'm not gonna not take full advantage of my last weekend.
You think you'll miss it?
Of course, yeah. Of course I'll miss it, yeah. But I know it's the right decision, and I've got goals and aspirations and talents that go beyond the race car, and to be able to take full advantage of those in my lifetime, at some point I have to reinvent myself.
Yeah. What's the updates on Mount Everest?
Well, I climbed this summer, just did some technical training. If I've got some more time now, I'll be able to do some more climbing. So I'll probably try to string a couple international trips together next year, and if they go well, it could be a 2020 project.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Definitely appreciate your time.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.